Hollywood's iconic sibling duos like the Hemsworths and Afflecks have made a lasting impact on the entertainment industry. From the Gyllenhaals to the Olsens, these siblings showcase immense talent, shaping film and TV with their dynamic performances and unique bonds, captivating audiences worldwide. Ben and Casey Affleck. Who doesn't know Ben? From Good Will Hunting to Batman, he's done it all. And little brother Casey? He's got that Oscar for Manchester by the Sea. Talk about keeping success in the family. But wait, remember the Baldwins? Alec, Daniel, William, and Stephen Baldwin practically owned the 90s. While Alec's still making headlines with his sharp wit and dramatic roles, his brothers have carved their own paths in entertainment. 4 brothers, countless movies, and endless entertainment. Now that's what we call a family business. Speaking of powerhouse siblings, let's talk about the Hemsworth brothers. Chris might be wielding Thor's hammer, but Liam's stolen hearts in the Hunger Games, and let's not forget Luke, who's made his mark in HBO's Westworld. These Australian heartthrobs prove that sometimes good looks and talent are just good genetics. Now, how about we shift gears to the quirky side of Hollywood with Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal's brother-sister duo? Just kidding. We're actually here to talk about Dave and James Franco. While James rode to fame with Spider-Man and 127 Hours, Dave's been quietly building an impressive resume with gems like The Disaster Artist. These brothers even work together, proving that sometimes mixing family and business can create movie magic. Remember those hilarious guys from the 90s? The Wilson brothers, Owen and Luke. From the Royal Tenenbaums to Zoolander, these Texas natives brought their unique charm to both mainstream and indie films. And let's be honest, who can resist Owen's signature, wow? Here's where things get interesting. Did you know about the Sprouse twins? Cole and Dylan started as child actors sharing roles, most famously in Big Daddy with Adam Sandler. Now they're all grown up, with Cole starring in Riverdale and Dylan making waves in independent films. Talk about growing up in the spotlight. And speaking of young talent, let's give it up for the Padalecki brothers. While Jared became a supernatural sensation in, well, Supernatural, his brothers Jeff and Jensen have been supporting his journey from behind the scenes. Family support at its finest. Hold on to your seats, because we're about to talk about some serious Hollywood royalty, the Bridges brothers. Jeff and Beau Bridges come from an acting dynasty started by their father, Lloyd. While Jeff's The Dude will forever abide, Beau's extensive TV work shows that talent definitely runs in the family. Here's an interesting pair, Brian and Dominic Keating. While Brian dominated Broadway, Dominic took the sci-fi route with Star Trek Enterprise. These British brothers show that whether it's stage or screen, talent knows no bounds. Time to pump some iron with the Stallone brothers. While Sylvester's been knocking out hits since Rocky, his brother Frank has been making moves in the music industry and occasional film appearances. Who knew throwing punches could be a family tradition? And who could forget the Sheen-Estevez clan? Martin Sheen's sons, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez, dominated different aspects of Hollywood. Charlie with his sitcom success and Emilio with his Brat Pack fame and later directing career. Let's talk about the Evans brothers, Chris and Scott. While Chris has been saving the world as Captain America, Scott's been making his mark in shows like Grace and Frankie. Looks like being charming runs in the family. Here's a fun twist. Let's talk about the Wahlberg brothers. Mark went from Marky Mark to Oscar-nominated actor, while brother Donnie went from New Kids on the Block to Blue Bloods. Now that's what we call successful career transitions. And speaking of musicians, did you know about Dennis and Randy Quaid? Okay, they weren't musicians, but their journey from Texas to Tinseltown is just as fascinating. Dennis became a leading man, while Randy earned an Oscar nomination. Not bad for a couple of boys from Houston. Time for some laughs with the Wayans brothers. Keenan, Damon, Sean, and Marlon. These guys practically invented their own genre of comedy. From In Living Color to Scary Movie, they've kept us laughing for decades. Charlie and Eddie Murphy. Now, everyone knows Eddie Murphy as the laugh-out-loud genius behind classics like Beverly Hills Cop and Coming to America. But did you know his older brother Charlie was also a comedy powerhouse? While Eddie was lighting up the big screen, Charlie was crushing it on Chappelle's Show and even co-wrote some of Eddie's movies. Talk about keeping talent in the family. And let's not forget about Luke and Owen Wilson's partners in crime, the Farrelly brothers. Peter and Bobby gave us classics like There's Something About Mary and Dumb and Dumber, behind the camera, but definitely not behind in talent. Here's one that might surprise you. Alexander and Bill Skarsgård. While Alexander made vampires cool again in True Blood, Bill terrified us all as Pennywise in IT. And guess what? There's actually a third brother in the business, Gustav Skarsgård from Vikings. And speaking of character actors, how about John and Joan Cusack? Oops, wrong list. But seriously, let's talk about Ralph and Joseph Fiennes. From Voldemort to Shakespeare, these British brothers have given us some of cinema's most memorable performances. Keeping things fresh, let's talk about the Wolf brothers, Nat and Alex. You might know Nat from The Fault in Our Stars or Alex from Hereditary. These young talents are just getting started, but they're already making waves. And have you heard about the Butter brothers? No? That's because I made that up. But speaking of real siblings, the Duffer brothers, Matt and Ross, are the masterminds behind Stranger Things. Directors count too, right? That brings us to some powerful behind-the-scenes brothers. The Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan, have given us masterpieces like Fargo and No Country for Old Men. Talk about sibling synchronicity. And let's not forget the Russo brothers. Anthony and Joe went from sitcoms to directing some of the biggest Marvel movies ever. Now that's what I call a superhero origin story. Let's spotlight some brothers who are making their mark right now. Did you know about Alexander and Bill Skarsgård's younger brother, Walter? He's following in his brother's footsteps, proving that sometimes three's not a crowd, it's a dynasty. Which Hollywood brothers are your favorites? Drop a comment below and let us know. Remember, in Hollywood, sometimes blood isn't just thicker than water. It's thicker than a movie script. Until next time, keep watching, keep dreaming, and who knows, maybe you and your siblings could be the next Hollywood power family.